This is Mongolian Mindset, and today me and Christian are going to be dropping the most comprehensive breakdown of temperament that has ever been seen. That's online. With these concepts, you can identify yourself and others. Um, it just flows perfectly, man. Christian, you got anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, last time we went over the basics. This time we're gonna go a step above. So if you just pay attention, you could take your knowledge to the next level, be on the next tier above people that just stick to the surface level. This is gonna take you to the next level. So pay attention.
And as you know, guys, we'll be dropping a link to our basic breakdown of the core and all that stuff. We'll be dropping a link to that. Like we said on the last video, we actually did get a comment from Dario Nardi giving us some praise on what we did. Like we say, we take the knowledge to the next level. Okay. Most of these content creators, they're just saying shit. We go to the sources, we provide information, we give you guys stories about ourselves and what we've encountered with the material. So it flows so much better.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. This is the temperament by Linda Behrens. We love her work. We believe everybody should read her book. Um, like we say here, go pick up her book, man. Because a lot of things that we're gonna be talking about, she does have a glossary over here that breaks down some of the stuff that we talk about, and me and Christian will be, hinting on some of the words we go over and stuff like that. But this is the temperament by us. So
Mhm.
first, we want to go over the Johari window, and this is how some psychologists made up. Well, not made up. They have a system here for how you view things, where it be like the self and whatnot. And it's like the core self is unknown to you and others. The core values um, are known to you but unknown to others. And then you have the talents, which are unknown to self but known to others. And then you have the behaviors, which is known to self and others. And as they go outwardly, the more they can be changed by the environment that you're in. Okay, guys, make
Now
that.
I just want to add too. So when you see values, right? So people don't get it confused because a lot of people will see that word values and immediately jump to like societal expectations, like for example, Christian values or the values that you try to instill into your kids. But what this is talking about is what you value at your close to your core, not at your core, close to your core. And then as you go outwardly to the outer layers, people are able to kind of see those. For example, behaviors would be kind of like what you express outward. So people see your behaviors. Also, talents, people see your talents. That's why they're on the outer rim.
Mhm.
While you, as you go closer to the core of the diagram, are things that are more deep rooted, more things that people maybe can't see. You
Mhm.
know, that's why they're unknown, either to yourself or to others. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think he said that perfectly. When you get to that core self, it's kind of like something that you can't explain it, but when we talk about it, you will understand, like, to yourself why you did certain things. Um, and as always, me and Christian gonna drop the stories. That's one
Yeah.
thing about us. We're gonna drop the stories with you guys.
Yeah.
So we have the core self or the core needs. Um, so this is the most, like, every bracket has like self-actualization, right? And each temperament has what they see as their core, and they want to express that at the top. Okay. That's why we have the pyramid here. This goes to the top. So you got your SPs, the improviser, Christian neighborhood friendly ISTP. They're about freedom and making an impact now. Like, that's what's driving them to their core. And if you can inhibit that, you'll watch these motherfuckers go crazy. Like,
Mhm.
I've seen Christian, I'm just like, what the fuck wrong with this motherfucker? Like, because the thing about like our core self and things is that we project it onto others. So I'm projecting my core on the Christian. So when I see him make like these erratic behaviors, I'm like, what's wrong with him? But the thing is, Christian has a freedom to act and impact now, core. So that if
And
he's
and when you
feels
say
bored
core,
or constrained, it's gonna
when
come
you
out.
say core, you mean core need.
Yeah.
So um we tend to kind of think that our core need is other people's core needs. That's what Mercer's talking about. So like what he needs is different from what I need. So when he sees me act a certain way based on something that happened, he's like, why is Christian acting that way? Because he is only, you know, looking
Yeah.
at it from his core need perspective, you
Hmm.
know.
And
Mhm.
that's why this is super important because once you understand these things, you can understand people better and why they're going about things. Even though they may not be able to materialize what they're saying, you can be like, oh, I kind of see he is an SP, that freedom and impact. He needs to do that. Now he's being constrained. He's not able to do that. You know what I'm saying? He feels, Richard Parker might come out. Chris used to call his alter ego, the constrained version of himself, Richard Parker. And
Yeah.
that was a
And see, okay, I can explain that. Okay, so Richard Parker, if anybody's seen Life of Pi, it's like the tiger who's in a boat with the boy, right? And it kind of represents the id. It's kind of like you know, it's a violent expression, a violent outward expression that comes out, in times of need within the movie. But like in my experience, we used to call Richard Parker like the outward expression of myself when I was able to finally be free. Because like basically I was living in a way that was not fulfilling my core needs, right? So like overall, my overall life was set up so that I wasn't really fulfilling myself, that core need self. So whenever I had the opportunity to kind of like, be free finally in some setting, that I would react in self-destructive ways or like destructive ways or violent ways in general. And we used to call that Richard Parker's because it was like the id version of me coming out. So that's what can happen if you set up your life in a way where you're not fulfilling that core need. It's like you'll see it lash out in certain places, but if you set your life up in a way that you're fulfilling more of that core need, then it'll be more harmonious. You could kind of integrate that self, and he won't come out erratically. It'll be more harmonious. So
Mhm. So yeah. I mean, back in the day we called Richard Parker Christian. I was like, damn man, Christian fucking crazy.
yeah, yeah,
So we got the stabilizer, that's the SJs, and it's about the core needs of responsibility, duty, membership, belonging, and stability. Then you have the theorist, which is mind, is knowledge, competence, self-control, and mastery. I can go into a story when I didn't realize how important mastery is to me. I remember there was a certain thing that I was doing, and Christian and my friend Jared was like, bro, you're already good enough. Like, like why you feel like you got to go more? And it's that to satisfy that mastery core. I didn't feel like I had mastered anything. And until I feel like I mastered them, I got to keep digging and digging and digging and digging. So it gets kind of obsessive at times. That's one of the words. But that's just who I am. Like, and I really didn't understand why I was doing it. I was just doing it. Like it just,
yeah. And
just
if you differentiate that from myself, for example, I don't have the need to master completely that one thing. Let's say it's almost like I have this it's like freedom and impact core, right? It's different than Mercer. So for me, it's good to have a variety of skills, even if I haven't mastered them all the way. Like let's say like I try to kind of visualize it like imagine if you have a bar, right? And it goes from 0 to 100. I'll get my skills up to like 70, but I'll have a lot of them, because I want the freedom of being to access different skills, like
whenever you need to.
whereas Mercer's like, I need to get this bar to 100. That's his core need is to like master that one thing.
Yeah, and if I can't do that, then I start getting like crazy and I kind of like lash out, like or like you'll just see like a different side of me, just like it. And generally speaking, it's because like I'm not competent in something or like I haven't mastered something. And like let's say for instance, we went and Christian kicked my ass in pool. Dude, I was in the bathroom in the shower playing with my thumbs to be able to position myself to play pool. Like that's how bad it gets. Like that's how I am. Like I am just like when it comes, and then people are like, oh my God, Mercer beat the shit out of me in this, and he was so shit at it before. It's because my brain has this like mastery tick to it. Like Christian, like, yo, what the fuck, bro? You would think about that shit. Yes, bro. Like I was like positioning my hand like in the shower, or like for instance, when we played basketball and me and Christian were learning the Euro step, I created like whenever I was on break or something, I would Euro step to the bathroom. Like always, like I would Euro step to the bathroom, or like I would take 2 steps. People look at me weird, but it's like I'm like I have to have this sense of mastery behind it because to me that's when I feel complete. And anything under that is not making me happy. So
Yeah.
a lot of times you can come like be obsessive or whatever. So I find it weird.
Now,
I don't want to do the same thing.
um, so typically, before you even like, if you haven't studied this,
You would know
these
that.
things could be unknown to yourself. So it's
I didn't
almost
know.
like you're behaving on autopilot and you're like getting mad at things that you don't know why they're making you mad, or you're like pushing to get things without knowing why. These are your core needs. They're usually unknown. But of course, if you study these things and you kind of frame them in certain ways and use language to better like detail what's going on, then you kind of can know what your core needs are, but you gotta put in work for that.
Yeah.
It's not normal to know what your core needs are. Like if you talk to an average Joe on the street, they probably don't know why they do certain things. Those are their core needs.
Mhm.
That's why there's a blind spot there for them, you know?
Like we said in the Johari window, the core needs is you not aware of it, and that's the amazing part about you guys tuning in and watching this. Even though this video is long, as you're learning about the core needs and why you do what you do.
Mhm.
So we'll get to the catalyst. This is my best friend Nima's personality and also Christian's dad's personality. They're both INFPs. So it's about self-realization, meaning, significance, unique identity, and integrity, right? These people always want to be trying to build you into something, or like they're always like uh for instance with her, like everything has to like you have to there has to be some deeper purpose to things. Like they're always searching that deeper purpose. People, identity, like just building other people up. I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, yo, people are worthless, people are trash. What are you doing? No, Mercy, we gotta help them. I remember that fool one time. I seen her giving money to somebody when I was coming into work. I'm like, fool, what are you doing? These people are here for a reason. I said, those people are bums for a reason. No, but we got it's our responsibility to help these people. I'm like, fool, shut the fuck up, bring your ass. And then she goes, ooh, you know. But like, because I feel like just people take
But see,
advantage.
like, Mercer and I will be more on the same page on that because our core needs are not like realization of other people and significance of other people. We're more about I'm about freedom and impact. He's about mastery and competence. So it's like that's a blind spot for us. I can kind of go into that realm, but it's not like a core need of mine. Like I don't really need
Mm-hmm.
to help those people for me to feel actualized. Whereas NFs do. They need to feel like they're making a difference. Let's just say.
And motherfucker tell me the other day, she's like, I wish I could just save everybody. I'm like, motherfucker, that's impossible. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's why she all like, shows I'm depressed. I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't depressed. They don't even know what depression is. But it's coming from her core to like want to actually save people and help people, you know?
Yeah.
It's coming from that core, and she's not able to do that. And she's not able to find a way to do that because it's actually pretty hard. And like saving people, like a lot of times
A lot of time is
it's a
wasted
hard,
effort.
it's a wasted effort. Yeah.
A lot is yeah. You try to save people, but you can't. But anyways, I just to like summarize, core needs is deep rooted need, sometimes unknown, and if you don't meet these necessities, then you could cause stress on yourself or depression.
Yeah.
And it's important to kind of like detail what your needs are, and you have to put in work to find that, because it'll give you kind of like a leg up on the average person who doesn't really think about these things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, be aware that you tend to project these needs on other people, but once you kind of study that other people have different needs, then you can stop doing that, or not completely stop, but maybe mediate that a little bit so you can better understand other people.
Yeah, yeah. And
So yeah.
we really hammered this so that you guys can like get actual pictures. We know you guys come here for the stories. We know y'all come here for the stories. So we give y'all stories as we go. All
Yeah.
right, so we got the core values here. So this is like one circle out from the core needs. These are things that you kind of realize to yourself, but then other people don't realize. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of things they dictate the choices that you make in life, and they can be seen in the choices that you've made in life. Okay. Um, like for instance, they explain why we have a certain importance on certain aspects, and then you have the core needs of each temperament here. The improviser, the SPs, is going to be excitement, stimulation, and Linda Barron's in her glossary breaks down the definition of the words. So I highly recommend you guys pick up her book. Like again, we're always going to be paying homage to the people here. The aesthetics and the art and things like that, immediate adventure, action, performance with skill, variety, and fraternal relationship. This is Christian's group here. And the thing, oh well, we'll just keep going. But stabilized SJs, preservation of social groups, continuity, roles, rules, and regulation, group bonding, relationship, usefulness, and hierarchical structures, and security. We all know these SJs, man. You
Yeah,
can,
this is more like my girlfriend would be an SJ. So
yeah.
once he finishes, we could talk about each one and like kind of like examples. But
Yeah.
keep going, keep
So
going.
we got the theorists, the NTs, the concepts and ideas, progression, improvement, ultimate truths and theories, expert relationship, logical consistency, scientific inquiries, and expertise. And then we have the catalysts. That's gonna be ethics, morality, authenticity, idealized and meaningful world, self-actualization, cooperative interaction, unity, and empathetic relationships. Very big on that, okay?
Yeah. So we were talking beforehand about the SPs, which would be me. So we were kind of talking about what my values are. And again, like when we say values, is like what you value, not what was instilled into you like as values, because the common definition would be that. But in this case, we're talking about what you value, right? So
mhm.
like I would value excitement and stimulation, aesthetics, immediate adventure. So we were talking about how I always get on Mercer for not appreciating like art, for example, or like paintings, or even you know, the look of a setting when we go, Mercer doesn't appreciate aesthetics
Nah, I
to the
don't.
same degree that I would, so there's like a difference there between him and me.
And
And
it goes back to like that kind of like SC type thing. Like Christian's able to understand all the shit that's going around. Like me, I don't really understand all of it. Like I don't, it's almost like I don't see it. But Christian's actually able to appreciate it. So like we kind of like I'm just here. And he's like, bro, you don't see all of this stuff. I'm just like,
like all the stuff that's going on, like the look of the place, etc. And then also like the immediate adventure, like, I like changing my setting, moving around, stuff like that. I appreciate that stuff. Mercer doesn't, so that's a difference between him and I. Also, like we were talking about how like he quit playing video games. I still enjoy playing video games. And it has a lot to do with the action and performance of skill. Like that satisfies me on a lot of these values, because it's almost like adventure, action, skill, and aesthetics all together. It's an art form that stimulates that value in multiple ways, which is why like I think I still play video games to this day. Also, we were talking about how like I value fraternal relationships. Mercer knows this. Like if the persons or the people I'm interacting with, like I feel like they're not maybe like intellectually on the same level, or even just on the same level as me, like I tend to not want to interact with these people. It's just I like that fraternal relationship, meaning on an equal setting. And so yeah, So that's what I value as a SP, and it's detailed here. So,
Yeah, yeah. Then you have the stabilizer, like obviously they care about the group unity, things of that nature. They're gonna bring you into that. They care about, the churches and stuff like that. They're gonna be doing that stuff on Sundays and things of that nature. Hierarchy structures, they're gonna have respect for things of that. Security is gonna be very important to them. You take away the security, they're probably gonna go crazy on your ass. Okay, because
yeah.
security is number one to them. Then you have the theorists, which is concepts and ideas. We love concepts and ideas. Sometimes we can give you ideas that's not actually true. That's why you really got to watch the ENTPs. A lot of times, they could be theorizing some ultimate truth that's not actual truth. Okay, you got to look out for that shit. Because they're trying to explain everything and anything with certain things, and sometimes you can't do that, or sometimes you don't have the data to prove that. But they can go off of any and prove anything. Unfortunately, guys, sorry about that. ENTPs, if you're watching this and you're fucking upset, I love you too, man. And then you have the catalyst, which is like we said, NEMA, the ethics, morality, bro. You got to be on point with that with these people. Um, I feel like they help you grow as a human being. I love being around them sometimes.
Mhm.
All right, Christian, go ahead and take the talents, man.
All right. So, talents. Talents are natural gifts and abilities. Regardless of situation, it is hard for us to not do this or use. Talents are known by others, often come with a type of intelligence: diplomatic, strategic, tactical, and logistical.
Wait, and we broke down 4 of those intelligences in our video, so highly recommend you pick that up, so you can know your intelligence. It can also help you find your type.
Right. Caution. Having a talent does not mean we have developed a skill in using that talent. We can all develop skills, but it usually takes more time, energy than things that align with our natural talents,
All right, so I'm
which
gonna talk.
means,
I'm gonna talk
okay,
a point here. So,
mhm.
so Christian is an SP, so he has the ability to perform, right? Um, and I admire that about Christian's talent, right? And the thing is when I was younger, I'd never tell him that, right? I would never fucking tell him that, right? But what I would do is things that came easy to him because that's his core and that's his values and things came a lot harder to me. So maybe Christian would be able to perform by doing something 3 times. I would just override that by doing something 10, 20, 30, 40 times, right? So it costs me a lot more energy and it takes me a lot more things to get to where I can perform on the same level that he does because that's natural to him. But it's not natural to me. But, I can put in the work, the energy, and I can do the same thing that he's doing, but it's not going to be as easy. I got to be, secretive about the shit I'm doing. Um, that's what I've always done. Like I never forget the one time we played this crazy competitive game of football, and Christian caught this impossible catch. I never forget that. From that moment on, like it like burned in the back of my memory, and I was like, I have to get good at catching football. Like I have to get, and I just drilled it, and then I got really good at it. Like I got really good at just like playing football and stuff. But it came from like seeing Christian like perform in that moment, and I was like, why do I fucking suck? Like I fucking hate that. And I was like, I got to change that about myself. But it doesn't come easy. Like I said, it doesn't come easy. I got to drill it. Boom, 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 boom. Christian may go out there and do it, the first time. I don't even know if did you practice that or anything? You just did it.
What, like catching the ball?
Yeah, when you caught that one
I
ball.
mean, bro, I'm not even, bro, I'm not even from the US. Like, we don't have football in Puerto Rico. Like, I just caught it just based on athleticism, basically. That was it. Like,
But I'm telling you, it was like impossible, dude. I'm telling you, everybody was like, bro, they stopped their game. They were like, no way, he fucking caught that. Like everybody was like, is that a catch? That's not a like. It was crazy, bro. I'm telling you, it burned in my memory because deep down I wanted something like that to be me, but it was Christian, and I fucking like mentally like internalized, and I was like, I'm gonna crush this motherfucker.
but bro, I've always had kind of like moments like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, how did he do that? You know?
And now
Like,
that we're older, I can talk about it. But when I was younger, I was like, I'd never tell that motherfucker. I would never tell him. But it motivated me to get a lot better. Like I said, like those skills are not naturally inclined with my talent. So I got to put in a lot more time to be able to do what he kind of does effortlessly. Um, so
Yeah. Well, so yeah, caution having a talent does not mean we have developed a skill in using that talent. I think that's important to kind of highlight. Talents are things that you, like Mercer said, are gonna be good at starting out. But if you don't develop, that skill, somebody who might be less talented will just surpass you. Now, if you put in the same work as that other person,
you know, kill him,
you you'll outpace them based on your talent.
kill him, kill him.
I also think talents are where the variations are when it comes to like your roles in society as well, because based on what talents you choose to develop is the roles that you're gonna kind of play, because like as we see, when you start going lower on the PowerPoint, there's different roles that you could take on based on your talents. So SPs could take on within the SP, bubble, different roles, you know. So there's variation there. Just because you're talented at certain things doesn't mean you're gonna take on the same role as the other person, because based on what skills you choose to develop, that's gonna be your role, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And also always remember there's outside forces that might pull you to develop things that you're not naturally good at or put you in different things. So always remember that.
Yeah. Or vice versa, they might suppress your talent. You might be in a situation where you might be talented at something, but you can't really develop it because there's limiting forces from the outside coming in, kind of hindering you. For example, like let's say you're really talented at, you're very creative and you want to be an artist, but you live in a family where your parents are like, no, you're not going to be an artist because artists don't make money. Now you live your whole life, then practice art. It's kind of like, you could try to catch up, but it's been years and there's people already developed that skill. That could take place as well. So,
And then you might be kind of mad at yourself because like you wanted to get good at art, because that core wants to, maybe wants to express itself through art and or that's a value or whatnot. But you didn't get to do it. So you might be expressing that later on in life and you might have like this hatred or anger towards the world or whatnot. So you gotta be
yeah.
cognitive of that.
Yep. Yep. Because like we said in the original slide, if you don't feed that core need, tends to create stress, and stress goes long enough to create depression. So,
So be careful of
anyways, as we see here, each one has different roles and different talents that they can develop.
and these terms will be broken down in the glossary of the book, so I highly recommend you guys pick that up. But me and Christian will just touch on things here and get there. Um,
Yeah. Go ahead, Mercer, if you
so you
want.
got the SPs, which is crisis manager. So they're going to be very good at crisis managing because of SE, the ability to adapt and perform. Like Dario Nardi says, they have that tennis hot brain. They're ready. They're ready. The crazy stuff going on. They're ready to just like do this, do this, do that, do that. As a somebody like myself, I might get overwhelmed with that. You know, it's like I said that one time, a girl I was in charge of the at the hospital, and one of the women went into labor. But my brain took a shit with itself. But thank God somebody came up and it was fucking Luke. He came up, Merce, we gotta do. I'm like, bro, handle it. And afterwards I was like, oh my God, bro. I swear to God, I was like, oh my God. But like next time, I can kind of, see the route that I need to go in. But these guys are very good at crisis managing, performing, adapt, like we said, troubleshooting. That's all going into that. Contextual thinking, variation tactics. We talked about tactical intelligence and what that is in another video. Improvising, negotiating, operator and executive, and producer/presenter. So the operator and executive is going to be the STPs, and the producer and presenter is going to be your SFPs. And then you have your stabilizers. You got the caretaker and supporter. That's going to be more of your SFJs. Rule maker and enforcer. That's going to be your STJs. Provide, protect, monitor, sequential thinking. So they like to get things lined up in a sequence. They'll be like very important at putting things in the right place at the right time. Measuring, logistics, Stabilizer and traditionalist and supervisor and inspector. That's going to be your STJ and your ESTJ and ISTJ. Then you have the theorists, which is my temperament. You got the engineer and inventor. That's your NTPs. These people are systemizers. Like we systemize a lot of things. We're gonna systemize. We're gonna put a system in place. Like that's just my thinking. Even if I'm playing skee ball, I'm looking at the system behind something. If I'm playing pool, I'm looking at the system behind it. Like it doesn't matter whatever category or anything you put me in. I'm interested in the system behind it. Okay, because if I can get my hands on the system, then I can get the result that I want every time. So I don't even
Um,
care about what.
can I talk one second before we move on? I want to talk about the SJs real quick because my girlfriend's the SJ. SJ is interesting because it would be, we went to Universal during the the bug. I'm not gonna say the word, but the bug, we all remember. And they had that rule with the lines where you had to step like a certain amount of distance, and her mom wasn't like really following the rules, and she was kind of like the enforcer in that moment. She was like, "Mom, you need to follow the rules. You need to like." So that whole like protect, enforce, and monitor thing is very true. She makes sure that the traditions are followed like the way traditions are supposed to go as well.
Well, I never
So
forget the one time she told us, "You guys need to be like adults and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like,
yeah, yeah.
don't
So
do that. Don't tell us what to do.
yeah, yeah. So that's all very true about SJs. I think a lot of times SJs are kind of overlooked because like when we talk about typology, because I guess like they're not very exciting to talk about, but they maintain societal structure
Yeah,
essentially and rules. So they're very I would say important in a way.
very important. If you don't have it, you don't notice it.
Yeah, like if you don't have SJs, it's almost like anarchy can take over. You
Hmm.
kind of need the SJs. That's why they're stabilizers. It's almost like a buffer between these people who want to be super pragmatic and like test the rules.
Put us right in our
So
place.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
keep
we got
going.
the theorists, which is my. I think we went over that. Systemizer, categorize, design, marshal. The marshaling is going to be more of the NTJs, differential thinking. Um, Analysis, strategy. Like I always say, to me personally, I view life as a chessboard. Every move, I'm looking at it from a chessboard type area. A lot of times, if I make a mistake, um, I see it as myself as a blunder. Like I see it as a blunder, and then I'll go over and I'll talk to Christian about it, or I'll talk to Kyle about it, or whatnot. And motherfuckers be like, "Bro, you just overanalyze the shit out of everything. Like, bro, you just let it go." And I just can't get over it. Like, because that blunder to me is like it's part of the strategy. Um, so we got the theorist, we got the visionary, obviously, the mobilizer and the director. Okay, and then you have the catalyst, which is the NFs. So harmonize, advocate, champion, facilitate, reveal, counsel. Integrated thinking. They know how to make everybody feel great about something or good or bridge the gap with people. Interpretation, diplomacy.
Dip-
We
Diplomacy.
talked about it. We talked about that in another video with the diplomatic intelligence. Like I said, they're not a bridge to gap with people. Catalyst, transformer, and mentor and foreseer. Those are going to be your catalyst and transformer is going to be your NFPs, and your mentor and your foreseer are going to be your NFJs. Okay. And we got the behaviors. Go on, take it, person.
All right. So behaviors. This will be on the outer layer. If you remember the diagram, is what people can see. I call it the phenotype to the genotype. That means like basically it's the expression of like the culmination of everything. Like the core influences your behaviors and talents and situations. It's what you do, the day-to-day interactions. Okay. So behaviors are a direct line to core needs. That means your core, even if it's unknown to you, is gonna influence your behaviors. Okay. Now, improvisers or SPs, they're impact centered, cynical, risk taking, fast reacting, bold ventures, reciprocating, restless, spontaneous, seizing opportunities. So, they're spontaneous and they want impact now kind of thing. That's what the behaviors are going to look like. You're going to see them, kind of taking risks, moving, bouncing from thing to thing in a way that seems, competent.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
now
like
stable.
I
Yeah,
could
go ahead.
say for Christian, I'm like, damn, bro. Like I have nightmare. I literally have like dreams of like Christian like being super risk taking in a dream. And I'm like, this motherfucker, this motherfucker, because he doesn't even notice it. It's like, but it's like he's like I remember like some things like he would do just like this motherfucker. He ready to risk it all, and I'm like, God damn, like um, I kind of like I kind of admire it, but it kind of like it's just not for me. And when they say cynical, they're talking about like so the improvisers always know what people get out of a situation, so they can become quite cynical, because they
Mhm.
know that everybody has a motivation behind everything they do. Okay,
Right,
so they can become
right.
cynical to that degree. That's why I say you got to look at the glossary for some of these words. But go ahead and go, Christian.
Yeah. Okay. So stabilizers, they're authority centered. They use customary language. So they're not really big into like slang terms and stuff like
That's gonna be
that.
more the colorful language, slang.
Yeah, that's more of the colorful language like SPs. They're supportive custodians. It's an interesting description, but it's almost like think of them like the guardrails, you know. It's like don't go off the traditional too much. They'll get on your ass about it. Um, they're steadfast, structured, and they sustain policies and procedures. Now the SJs for people like I guess Mercer and I, sometimes they could be too restraining, especially like, if you work with them or whatever and you're more pragmatic, they'll get on your ass about not following the policies by the book. And it's almost
Mhm.
like, God, get off my ass. That's the
Hurry up,
SJs.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Anyways, we got the theorists or the NTs. They're knowledge centered. They use precise language, conditional. They're also skeptical. Um, which works well with the cynical SP, I would say. The skeptical and the cynical. It's almost like I said, a defense mechanism. It protects you from certain shit. They're inventing, reasoning, calm, uh, purpose improver. Mercer, can you describe that purpose improver? Since
So, so over time, they're just going to improve things. That's what their natural orientation is. So, like if they start a certain thing and they do a certain thing, over time they're gonna their interest is to improve that, make it quicker, faster. Like a stabilizer may not care about making it quicker, faster. They just care about making it safe, right? But the
right.
theorist or the NT is going to be knocking it off to make it, to improve that system.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, one thing I could say, so the SJ, because we're talking about behaviors, I think SJs a lot of times if you talk about what could be, right? So like Mercer's saying, like if you're trying to improve a system, the system is that you're trying to improve is not there yet, right? It's like in the future it could be like this. SJs kind of don't like that because they want to work with what is already established, right?
mhm.
They want to work with what is now or what is present now. They don't really want to think about how it could be because that's kind of like an abstract thought. Um,
There's nothing wrong with it. Like people like kind of shit on it, but a lot of times, man, you start polling people, and SJs are living better lives, bro. Like I straight up tell people like if you God hypothetically was like Mercy, you get to choose one personality to be, and he listed all of them out. I would probably take the ESTJ. And that's just being honest because they just seem to be able to kind of do it all. They're gonna have that good family. They people love them in the community. They might be able to get office. They're gonna make a good living. A lot of times when you take these SPs or NTs, it's either big or butt. It's like go big or go home with these motherfuckers. It's
yeah,
go big or
yeah,
go home with a lot of them. Like that's why I'm like, if you looked at them, if I systematically looked at them, and I was like, God was like, Mercy, you have to choose one, and you're going into the world with that type. I would choose ESTJ.
yeah.
So,
No, I see what exactly what you're saying because like it's like you said, like SPs. it's like you're gonna live kind of dangerously. Like I've had situations where it could have been bad and it could have veered my life off course at certain moments just because I like that adventure, or I like to say that I went through that shit that I probably wasn't supposed to even go through, at that moment. Is so yeah, SPs, they could be like risk takers, and then NTs is like, you're living in a world that's not there yet. Like you're
Yeah.
trying to kind of like form hypothesis of how it could be, and then a lot of the times it's better just to go with the rules, man. It's easier. Like society kind of rewards SJs a lot of times for
Because
just
let's say you hypothetical, like a lot of times you can see a vision of something, and the thing about that vision is that you may think it take 5 years to get that vision, and that bitch might take you a lifetime. See what I'm saying? With SJ, like, fuck that. I'm gonna go what works. They like, well, whatever, bro. And that vision might, it might take a whole lifetime. SJ, like, bro, I'm gonna take the stable job. I'm gonna make 6 figures. I'm gonna get the white picket fence. My wife's gonna love me. Kids, all that. But this fucking NT, worried about this shit that may not never happen.
yeah, it might never
Being
happen.
obsessive about it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that. Also, like I don't know, maybe I'm projecting, but like it could kind of be like hard to find a tribe as for example, ISTP. It's like you only mess with a certain type of person. You know what I mean? Everyone else kind of like falls by the wayside, and then it could be kind of like a lonely existence. You know what I mean? Like you'll have a certain amount of people around you, whereas SJ is like you're living life kind of by the rules, so you have a more of a pool of people to kind of mess with and vibe with. So I agree with you. I think SJ is kind of like an easier life, but
Yeah.
but anyways, we went on a tangent, but
I mean, yeah, but it is what it is. But like we said, you gotta stay for the stories.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
But
stories.
go ahead and finish off the last one, NF,
So,
since you
so they get
have
the catalyst. So they're relationship centered. They have global language. They talk in metaphors, credulous, imagining, enthusiastic, future orientation, empathizing, lightning, praising, involved, idealistic, personal, and creating harmony. So that's the reason why I had that INFP best friend. I call her. I need to feel good about myself. Dima,
she's also
Dima.
Mercer's conscience in a way. She's like the Jiminy Cricket for Mercer. Like if you know the Pinocchio story, like because Mercer could go off course, like as far as more like morality and stuff like that, but Nemo will bring him right back. Like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Nima, I can't believe this
So
mother. I'd be like, Nima, I can't believe this motherfucker. Oh, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. And she just like knows how to like kind of say things, and then I'm like, I feel better afterwards. But like
mhm.
that's why like our friendship, like that's a valuable friendship to me. It's helped me grow as a person, probably more than anything like I can say. I believe like she's like made me a better overall human being because I could do some real fucked up shit. I could be, especially you put me and Christian together, or you put me and Kyle and Chris, you put me and Kyle together. But I'm telling you, any fucked up things I'm gonna do, Kyle gonna justify it. Bro, you was absolutely right for what you did. Neema's not going. You know, he gonna be like, bro, you were absolutely right for what you did. But we're going off on a tangent here. So this is the improviser. We got the circle here, guys, and Christian's gonna go over it. It's from the needs to the values to the talents to the behaviors. Go ahead and go for it, Christian.
Yeah, so the core needs are to have freedom to act without hindrance and to see a marked result from action. People of this temperament highly value aesthetics, whether in nature or art. Their energies are focused on skillful performance, variety, and stimulation. They tend to be pragmatic, utilitarian actions with a focus on technique. They trust their impulses and have drive to action. They learn best experientially, and when they see the relevance of what they are learning, of what they're doing, they enjoy hands-on applied learning with fast pace and freedom to explore. Now, I could talk about this like
I can say straight up,
my
if Christian don't see the relevance and what the fuck he learning or doing, but it's hard time to get him to do something. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I need to see that what I'm doing is worth it. So for example, like if we work at different let's say locations because we're like contractors, so we move around, right? Like certain policies that people have are like either inefficient or outdated or whatever. And of course, like you need to kind of fall in line with what the policy is for the location. But man, it's hard. It's hard because I've seen so much and I know that a lot of them are kind of like not necessary. It's hard for me to like pay attention to them and do them. Also, like the sports that I chose throughout my life, like martial arts, are stuff that are very like action oriented in the moment, you know, tactile things. So it kind of goes along with the improviser mentality, right? Also, the aesthetic part of nature and art. Like I've always liked paintings even as a kid and like nature as well, like the look of nature and stuff like that. I value that a lot. Uh as far as variety of stimulation, I need to change environments constantly to remain stimulated. Even at work, like I have to work in different departments so that I can maintain uh like stay stimulated. If you put me in the same department too long, I start to get frustrated, you
I
know.
tell I'm like, what the
Uh,
fuck wrong with that boy? That's what I used to say to him, bro. What the fuck wrong with you? But
yeah,
it makes sense, you know. He's an SP man, so he's got to be, he's got to be doing something different.
yeah. So talents to be gifted at employing the available means to accomplish an end. Their creativity is revealed by a variety of solutions they come up with. They're talented at using tools, whether the tool be language, theories, paintbrush, or computer. They tune immediate. They tune into immediate sensory information and vary their action according to the needs of the moment. They are gifted at tactics. They can easily read the situation at hand, instantly make decisions, and if needed, take action to achieve desired outcome. Now, like Mercer likes to play chess, right? As at one point, I was trying to learn to play chess, but I thought it was a tactile game, right? And that's and it's kind of like there is tactics involved, but there is a lot of like meta strategies that are already established. And once I figured that there was already these strategies already set in place, I kind of fell out of love with the game, because I'm more of a tactile person, like in the moment, changing, boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
That's what I like.
Yeah, and if
So
Christian's able to do that, he gonna kick my ass. I'm telling you straight up. Like a lot of times when I have to play his game, he gonna win. All right, and if he has to play my game, I'm gonna win. Okay, um, that's why the
yeah,
strategy comes into play. Like if there's always like a last minute thing and we got to do something, Mercy about to get his ass kicked by Christian. But if there's a plan or whatever, Merson thought about something, I'm about to kick Christian ass. He don't even fucking know. Goes back to the Pokemon game when I whipped this boy's ass.
all right. Go to the next one.
You go and take this as your girlfriend, so
Okay, so stabilizer. The core needs are for group membership and responsibility. They need to know they're doing the responsible thing. They value stability, security, and a sense of community. They trust hierarchy and authority and may be surprised when others go against the social structure. People with this temperament prefer cooperative action with a focus on standards and norms. Their orientation is to their past experiences and they like things sequenced and structured. They tend to look for practical applications of what they're learning. So the stabilizers, right? I guess I could tell a story like,
when Rachel told us we weren't being responsible.
well, that's one thing, but there's another story that happened recently. So currently we're trying to find living situation because we just moved to a different city, right? And so like I like to be tactile. So basically I set moves and then I adapt according to the moves. But she needs more security and structure than that. She doesn't, for example, we are gonna meet with somebody to see an apartment, but she needed all the information and stuff like that. I didn't get enough information for her to feel stable and secure. So she was like asking me like to ask for more information, right? So that's what a SJ or stabilizer would do. Also, they don't like to go against social structure. So like for example, she wants to get married through church and stuff like that. That's very important for her because it's kind of like the traditional social structure, you know?
Mhm.
Uh, let's see. So
Dang.
the talents are in logistics and at maintaining useful traditions, like I said. They masterfully get things right in the right place at the right time. Now it's interesting because uh I think like a couple of weeks ago we were talking about okay, what fires you up, right? And we were talking about like for me, sometimes like we'll get in the car and I'll talk about like or no, what fired me up was mentorship. So like teaching people things, right? Whereas like I said, I don't know if my girlfriend gets fired up about certain things, but she'll get everything done the right way, the right amount at the right place. And it's funny because I read this now. Mercer just wrote this, and it just goes right along with what I said, right? So the right quantity in the right quality to the right people and not to the wrong people, right? That's almost word for word what I said without even me reading this. So they know how things have been done, so they anticipate where things can go wrong, and they have a knack for attending to the rules, procedures, and protocol. So they're like policy followers, and they make sure the correct information is assembled and presented to the right people. Okay.
All right, so this is mine. The theorists, the NTs, the core needs are for mastery of concepts. Like go back to that mastery, knowledge, and competence. People of this temperament want to understand the operating principles of the universe and learn or even develop theories for everything. Like I said earlier, you gotta watch some of the NTs you do follow because they might be developing theories that aren't actually true for everything. Okay. A lot of people try to like apply typology to what toothbrush they should use. Bruh, stop. But you get my point. They value expertise, logical consistencies, concepts, and ideas, and seek progress. They tend towards pragmatic, utilitarian action with a technology focus. They trust logic above all else. They tend to be skeptical and highly value precision in language. Their learning style is conceptual, and they want to know the underlying principles that generate the details and facts rather than the details alone. Okay. Um, very, very, very. You know what I'm seeing? So going to the talents, are in strategic analysis. So like if you listen to an NT, you will see that they attacking things from a strategical point of view. So like if you listen to Kobe Bryant, you can see that like he's talking about basketball from a strategic point of view. Like when you watch an interview with him and Shaq is saying it from an SP, like, oh, can you believe that Ben Wallace beat me? And Shaq and Kobe's looking at him like, you dumb fuck, because they had a strategy and a system. And their system was to do this. And it went completely over Shaq's head, you know. But for Kobe, it makes complete sense because he's seeing the strategy behind, okay, this is how they shut down Shaq. Oh, this was to force the ball up higher in Shaq. So if he's not able to get his points, then Detroit Pistons win. So he's looking at things from a strategic point of view. But Shaq's still like, can you believe that Ben Wallace stopped me from scoring? Like, motherfucker, is a strategy here. Um,
Right, right.
they
Hmm.
constantly examine the relationships of the means to the overall vision and goal. No stranger to complexity, theories, and models. They like to think of all possible contingencies and develop multiple plans for handling them. Depending on the NT, this is going to be more or less. For myself, I kind of think about overall, like what can go wrong, and I develop a plan, the best plan there, and I go from there. You
Bro,
can
I just
go left.
remembered. I just remember when you said the trap for your brother for him to trip. So Mercer developed a strategy. This goes to what he's talking about, right? His brother used to chase us around the house, right? When we were kids. And Mercer came up with a strategy. He said, if we put this here, he'll just trip over the thing, right? I
Christian,
said,
that
man,
ain't
there's
work.
I said, there ain't no way that's gonna work. He's just gonna jump over it, blah blah blah. I said, bro, it's gonna work. So he sets up a trap. He sets up a trap in the hallway. So when he's running, he just tripped over the thing, just smashed into the thing, right?
Mhm.
And he got like
He
so
got
pissed.
badly hurt. I actually like
He
some
felt
things
bad.
that I need to chill out on because like it works, but then afterwards I'm like, fuck, I probably shouldn't have done that. That's why I said like a lot of times, bro, I could become a very bad person, man. Like I'm just very lucky that I have the friends and people that I have in my life because like I could become like that person who's like doing that to people in real life and just fucking the world up, gaining money, doing all that shit. And I sometimes I kind of see myself like there's a pool, it's like this Madara like person in myself that could come out, but I'm protected by like my friends and that type of thing. Like, so I don't have to be like that person. But I can do some fucked up shit. Like my brother was really fucking hurt. He's like bleeding and shit, couldn't walk. And I'm like,
But yeah,
that's why my brother says I'm a psychopath. Like he always says he's like, bro, you're a psychopath. I'm like, I can see it sometimes, it's kind of scary, man.
well, we didn't think he was gonna get hurt like that, but I'll
Okay.
just say the strategy worked. Like he thought of it like strategically. Whereas I'm more of a tactile thinker, so I don't think about like, okay, let me do the strategy. I'm more of the Shack. Like I want to move in the moment, and that makes it fun for me. Like if you make it too strategic, it's not that much fun anymore. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything that I go to, it revolves around a strategy. Even when I beat Christian ass in Pokemon, right? He it was so strategic. The boy never had a chance of winning. And the crazy thing was the boy had invested his entire life in Pokemon, right?
that's not
Like he invested
that's
his
not
whole
true.
life in
Mercy,
Pokemon.
first of all,
And then the
Mercy
boy
cheated,
told me there was no way you can beat me. There's no way.
bro, because it was a different time. Like to get the strategy off would take so much work. I was like, there's no way. But he cheated. He cheated and
But
he
you
he
never
used a
put any
program
type
where
of
he could just
stipulation on what I
program
couldn't do and what I could do. Okay.
or whatever.
Not
He
cheating.
always did that.
I always do that.
He always do.
If you ever
Yeah.
gonna do anything with me, you better put a stipulation on what I cannot do. Because if you don't, you're gonna be you gonna get fucked up bad. So now Christian already knows like if he ever sees me too confident in something, he's like, oh, hold up. No, 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 no. What you
But
got?
I just research all the shit he could do, and that's it. And I do the same thing. And I basically I'm forced to think strategically, anyways.
Yeah.
Off rip. I'm like, okay, what would Mercer do? Okay, he'd research the best way to do this and strategize and da da da. Okay, I'm gonna do the same
Like
thing.
if me and
Mhm.
Christian play a video game, I immediately go to the tier list. I immediately go to the tier list and I pick the best character, one of the best characters. While Christian just authentically gets on a video game and clicks around and clicks this person. I like this person. Mercer has already looked at the tier list.
Yeah, but that
Mercer
was back
already
in the day.
knows. Yeah.
But anyways, let's not go off on a
Frameworks.
tangent. Let's
Yeah.
move
I mean,
on.
it goes back to being a theorist. Like I'm looking at the framework. I know what this move is broken. This fucking move is broken. If I hit this move, it's hard for him to defend it. Or like this is a jab, this is a poke. Like it's all of this strategy goes into place with me. Okay, that's always the way that I'm looking at something. It's like okay, this is two frames. This is a two-frame jab. He can't block it. It's a low. I'm using that. Okay. And I'm gonna break that boy with that move. But that's like we go back to it, the strategies and stuff like that. They abstractly analyze the situation and consider previous unthought of possibilities. Like we said, research, analyzing, searching for patterns, and developing hypotheses are quite likely to be their natural modus operandi. Okay, we got that here. Um, then we have the catalyst. This is the Nema. This is the Cody. This is Christian's dad. I don't know if I know any other fucking. This is my moderator here, one of my moderators. The catalyst. So the core needs are for meaning and significance, man. They're gonna be beating down that meaning and significance. I feel like that Nima is never happy because she's not making a meaning or like she has no meaning or significance. That comes from having a sense of purpose and working towards the greater good. Like I said, they need to have a sense of unique identity. They value unity, self-actualization, and authenticity. People of this temperament prefer cooperative interactions with a focus on ethics and morality. But that authenticity, man, god damn, man, Cody with that shit, bro. God damn, he be beating people with that. Oh, this person's not authentic. This person's not authentic. Oh, whoa, with this person. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what works, baby.
If it
Uh,
works, it works. If it
if it
works,
works,
it
it works, bro. Who, I mean, whatever. But that's them. They're gonna be sniffing that authenticity. Like, oh my god. They quick to call somebody fake. You're being fake. That's not the real you. Okay, Nina. They tend to trust their intuition and impressions first, and then seek to find the logic and data to support them. So they're gonna be, they're gonna trust their intuition first, and then they're gonna, look at that data and logic afterwards. That's why a lot of times they can make a lot of mistakes, especially when they're like talking to the NTs. Okay, the NTs are gonna be very thorough with the data. They're gonna look at the data first, not the intuition first. Okay, but they're gonna look at the intuition first and then look for the data. That can give you so many problems there. Given their need for empathetic relationship, they learn more easily when they can relate to the instructor in the group. Yes, if they can relate to the person, they're gonna learn a lot better. Like my NP NFPs, my NFPs, they love me, so they relate well to whatever I say. They always support me, so love those guys. Talents at unifying diverse people and helping individuals realize their potential. They build bridges between people through empathy and clarification of deeper issues. They use these skills to help people work through difficulties. Thus, they can make excellent mediators, helping people and companies solve conflict through mutual cooperation. If working on a global level, they can champion a cause. If working on the individual level, they can focus on growth and development of the person. Okay. You're gonna really be building up people here. But here's the circle here. And as always, we refer to our knowledge and our reference, Linda Barron's guys. Highly recommend you guys pick up her work. Um, Christian, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think this was a very in-depth guide. Run through it maybe multiple times,
Yeah.
you know, and if you kind of just absorb this, you kind of can understand where everybody's coming from according to temperament, and I think that's huge. I think that's more useful than trying to like pinpoint every little cognitive function for everybody,
Hmm.
because like I've said multiple times, like people are different. Even within this guide, like I said with the talents, right? Like some people choose to develop certain talents and arrive at different roles within the same bubble or temperament style. So yeah, so like go through this and kind of detail your talents of what you've developed, also your core needs. Like if you get your core needs, you're gonna be above in knowledge, the average Joe. So you can better make decisions and see why you react certain ways. You know.
And and overall, I think this is important to find this because it's going to help you understand like why you're doing that little weird thing, like myself. Like it's understanding like Mercer, why you so like why you gotta be so like obsessive? Why you gotta take everything to the next level? Like what's wrong with you? And I never could really put it into words, but Linda Barnes has done a great job of putting it in the right way, and it goes to that mastery core there. Um,
Mhm.
Another thing is like you need to understand these things because these things make you happy, right? A lot of people are facing like depressions and things like that. But if they understand their core needs and stuff like that, and they're less likely to be depressive, like, or they could say, okay, at this point in time, I may have to like put on more of an SP thing, but overall, I'm gonna work my way into getting that security because I'm an SJ, all right? Like when you understand these things, it makes you able to actually react and do. Like if
Right.
not, you're just going through the world blind.
Yeah, you could set goals that you know are gonna pay off, because sometimes like you might set goals that aren't even for you. Like you think you want that, but you're going against your core needs, and when you arrive at it, it's almost like you arrived at a dead end. Like now you have to reassess. But if you kind of pinpoint what you need, then you can make better decisions as far as goals are concerned. Also, you can make better decisions as far as what your partner needs. If you're in a relationship, it's good to identify what their core needs are, so you're not blindsided, because like Mercer said, we tend to project our needs onto other people and think they need the same things that we do, but they don't. They need different things, and once you pinpoint that difference, then you can accommodate them better. You can come to a middle ground a lot easier. you know
Yeah, yeah.
and that's what I've experienced too with my relationship. Like I know, you know, that she has SJ needs, let's just say,
Mhm.
as opposed to me, I have, SP needs. So we're just gonna need different things. And if we can accommodate both, reach a middle ground, then things can progress more smoothly. That's better than, I would say, compatibility.
Oh,
Compatibility theory, I think,
being
is,
blind out here.
in my opinion, like pretty useless because it tries to be too specific, whereas this is more generalized and better. It's easier to use. It's just more useful. If you just temperaments are just more general, you could use them better, in my opinion, as far as your relationship goes.
When you're looking at relationship and things like that, you talking about compatibility. There's so many things that go into place. Because like we said, like this is more the core, and that can be influenced by society, parents, all this type of thing. So like there's so many things that go on. There's a million different ways, man. There's a million different ways, and then you trying to pinpoint and trying to do certain things based off of certain things, it's not gonna work. Like my
Yeah.
vision, my like I can already see it just not working for you. So but what you can do is say, okay, this person has NT needs. Okay, so they're gonna be like a little oblivious to a lot of things. They're gonna be looking for that mastery. They might get too focused on something. So I understand I can accommodate them when they're going through that. Or like you
Right.
deal with an SP, like she's bored in a relationship. She's an SP. You're not doing anything. You're doing the same thing every day. You're driving her nuts.
Yeah. Or you're preventing her choices.
Hmm.
Like she doesn't have enough choices of maybe like where she can work or where she can live and stuff like that. You're trying to like put her in a box. That shit's never gonna work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
variety. They're gonna be looking for the variety, or you're looking for that catalyst. Like my best friend, she's always looking for that purpose or that greater good for people. And you gotta understand that like if you're around those people, they're always gonna be pushing that, and you gotta be
Yeah. Like,
accepting of like being able to deal with that.
yeah, like a
It's not
person like
something you
that
always want to
might,
deal with.
like, let's say you're dating a person like that. She might want to let go of her higher paying job for a lower paying job that makes more of a difference in the community or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be okay with that. And
Well,
be like,
she
why
might.
would you do that? I wouldn't do that. Of course, you wouldn't do that because that's not the same need. You got different needs. So,
But like I always say, I think the NTs and NLs, man, with those two, it's a slow fire that burns forever, right? Like they're not naturally gonna be like, oh my God, like I like this person. But over time, it's like that fire within them will last forever. Okay. But at first you're gonna be like, man, this motherfucker like wants to save people that don't even make sense. Like people can't be saved and all this other shit. But like over time, you notice it, like you start like giving into that and you grow as a human being and as a person. And like you take on their ethics and morals and you feel so much better about yourself and the things you're doing. While like a lot of times like people say NT, that's bad because there's no growth there. Like let's say, for instance, I have an INTP, bro, she's okay with whatever the fuck I do. Where's the fucking growth? She's
mm,
okay with whatever the fuck I do, like whatever. Like if I want to fucking go to the bar at fucking 11 and come home drunk, she's okay with that. And everybody ain't gonna let you do that. Other types probably ain't gonna let you do that. But she's open to like pretty much anything. Like it's there's no growth. Like there's no growth for me as a human being, as a person. And if you allow me to be a shitty person, I will be a shitty person. Um,
mm,
and you let people you choose how people treat you a lot of times, okay? So
mm.
a lot of times
That's
like
good. That's an interest. I mean, that's an interesting concept too. I guess I can talk about that too. Is like, if you allow me to like not be traditional and just take action however I want, then I will. So it's kind of good to have my SJ partner because it's kind of like, hold up, let's do these traditional things too, and let's do it like the right way along the way. Not just take action here, blah 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 blah, randomly. And at the end of the day, like you tend to grow and enjoy those things. You know,
yeah, it's like a
in the moment, they might be hard to set up and do, but then like after you do them, it's like, oh, I'm glad I did that.
yeah.
You know?
It's like I said, it's like a slow fire, but the fire burns forever. As in like when you with that instant attraction, it that fire burns hot and it burns out quick. You know, like me with an INTJ, I could if I meet a woman who's an INTJ out at a bar, it's I have a high chance of that happening that night, right? Just is what it is, bro. Just it is because we see things from the same lens. What she's projecting, I'm projecting. What I'm projecting, she's projecting. We talk from the same lens. We care about achievements. We care about a vision. She's gonna talk about her vision. I'm gonna talk about my vision. I'm gonna talk about my achievements. I'm gonna talk about it. Just all goes together. She's gonna talk from a strategic point of view. I'm gonna talk from a strategic point of view. We're gonna be like, holy shit, this person actually gets me.
Right.
Ooh, very high connectiveness, right? But then
Right.
after a while, it's like this person's oblivious to me. This person's, it's just over time not so good. You know what I'm saying? If you can devise maybe a system there that might help you, but like I said, like the NF's gonna really build you into like you might be for me like you will be that NTJ who actually makes a difference to the people and makes that impact to where maybe you change the education system by giving proceeds or money to something, but that's through an NF like pushing onto you, you know.
Hmm.
As in like naturally I wouldn't be predisposed
So
to do
you're
some
so
shit
you're
like that.
saying like chemistry sometimes could be like a false herring, like initially in that first moment it seems like they're the perfect person for you, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just because they're so similar to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But long term is actually not that good because you end up just reinforcing your own weaknesses.
Well, yeah. Well, there's no growth there, and a lot of times like we will like the flame is hot but it burns out quick, so it's like we we see things the same way and we do things the same way, and then we're not going to be accommodating each other pretty much. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But I mean, it can work for you, but I don't think it's going to like grow your insides to like where you feel good about yourself or like you feel good. Like if an NTJ, like let's say Ray Dalio, like he probably has an NF wife, like he's like donating all this money, doing all this like charity stuff and all this other stuff now. Um,
Mhm.
that's maybe because she's putting that impact on him to do that type of stuff. Because maybe his first need is like these people are worthless. That's what I think. I think most people are worthless. You can't save them because they don't even want to learn the skills. If you can't learn the skills, if you can't fish, like if I try to teach you, if I give you a fish and don't teach you how to fish, what the fuck is that? Um,
Mhm.
but they teach you, empathize with people, And to be honest, that feels good. It feels for me, it feels good. It fucking feels good when I do that, but I don't like to do it, but it feels good.
Yeah.
So you'll work on
Okay.
your morality and ethics and whatnot. So I will always, push that. I'm not like the other content creators. I'm gonna push the NTNF and SJSP.
The growth.
Yeah, for
The-
growth.
for growth. But how many people that's the hard road. That's the best,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's
But
the
yeah,
the
we
one
went
that
off on
you
a tangent here.
that's the road where you got to put in work, but you get benefits for like putting in the work,
A lifetime.
essentially.
You're gonna feel good
Yeah.
about yourself, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But guys, this was a comprehensive breakdown. I know this video is long as fuck. Um, just always remember we love you guys and Mercy and Christian again. Destroying the community. Any last
That's
thing,
right.
Chris?
No, that's it. I think we touched on everything. Just run through this video once or twice. Get the most out of this one, but we'll come with another one.
And fucking join our fucking Discord server, guys. The Discord is really popping off. We'll be dropping a link to that. And thank you guys, and you guys have a great day.
Peace.